G'day guys and welcome back to another video. Yesterday I started working on this Attack on Titan prototype game, and I'm a big fan of that show, the manga, the anime, and the world that Isayama has created. And I've always thought to myself when I was watching it that it would make a fantastic game if it was done right. The atmosphere that is created when people are running from titans in the forests, the spoilers, by the way, just, if you haven't seen the thing, watch it. But when the Beast Titan, grabs the horse and destroys the only means that people have to escape, etc. Like, really, really intense shit, and in particular, I think would lend itself extremely well to a proximity chat co-op multiplayer game where you're trying to coordinate with each other using flares from a distance, like in the first season, and basically you're trying to not get caught without your horse, or in a situation where you're overwhelmed by titans or whatever. Obviously great mechanics with the ODM gear as well, but anyway, I'll show you what I've got so far, and then I'll talk a bit more about the plans for this and the next steps. But here's a little scene with our Beast Titan here. I've just got some animations from Mixamo, who's just throwing shit at these guys over here. This is very new. This is only like a day and a bit worth of work, but I'm just going to go through some screenshots now. This is Mikasa up in the trees, and I'm just going to disable those screen messages so that you can see a little bit better. All these models are from Sketchfab, so you can have a look in the description for the credits for those. I've just assembled the environment and have been starting to script the gameplay. So you can see there are some titans down there. This is Mikasa up in the trees. This is another shot of Mikasa. That's Mikasa up the top, just there, little teensy tiny Mikasa. I'm just gonna put this on the second screen and then go full screen here so you can see this a little bit more with some titans down there in the bottom, and I'll show you what it looks like from a gameplay perspective in just a moment as well. This is obviously the shot of the opening scene with the colossal titan reaching its ugly ass head over the wall. That's Mikasa for scale there. I should also mention as well that everything in here, it has been done to scale according to the anime as well. So the titans of the sizes of the titans relatively are all canonically correct, and so is the height of the walls. And I was going to do maybe the approximate distances between things as well, so that you've got reasonable accurate sizes between the settlements. So this is Shiganshina district just here with the colossal titan reaching over the wall. But yeah, the wall height and the titan's height are all accurate. The things that aren't accurate at the moment are just the size of the towns. And then over here, obviously this is the scene from Perfect Game, the end of season 3, where you've got Zeke over here throwing the rocks. You've got Zeke over here throwing the rocks and his concentric circle of titans, and then your poor junior scouts over here praying for their fucking lives, getting obliterated by rocks thrown by Zeke. And so the next thing that I'm going to do is do some horses and things so that you can actually get in here and you can try to escape, and then see what happens when you run close to these guys, because I've got some AI in there to get them to chase you down, which I'll show you in just a minute. But before we get to that, let's just go through the rest of the screenshots. So this is just a shot from behind the colossal titan looking in. Now this one over here is a shot of Mikasa on the ground. So this is Mikasa looking up at the wall at another Mikasa up on the top there. Mikasa was the only good model I could find for Attack on Titan characters, and so a friend of mine, he's helping me do her a skeleton, an epic skeleton, so that we can get her animated and running around, because obviously it's like she's just standing there with a T-pose at the moment. What's this one here? This is another shot of Mikasa on the wall, and so this is looking way out into some of the forests over there. So you remember in the 57th expedition, I think it was, where they leave from the district here. I'll see if I can break out of this. I believe this is once they reclaim Trost district, then they go back out here into the Titan territory to try and reclaim the outer wall. And there's this whole arc where they're fighting the female Titan basically, and they're grappling through the trees and things like that. I think that would be a sick mission to do in co-op. The whole like riding in formation out from the wall to try and find the forest, using flares to try and avoid unnecessary contact with Titans. Manage your resources like stamina and things like hunger and whatever, and basically trying to get through the forest or whatever, and then maybe, I don't know, slay a female Titan, or see if you can make it all the way out here to the outer wall. I don't know, there's lots of different missions and things that we could do, but let's go through the rest of the screenshot. So this is outside of Trost district, so this is just looking out into the forests. And then we've obviously got the perfect game shots as well. So this is standing on top of the wall. There's a shot from the anime where Commander Irwin's standing here, and the armored Titan looks at him and he gives him a fucking death stare, and it's pretty badass. And then the other ones you can see, that's just all from perfect game down there as well. So why don't we jump in now and we'll just have a quick look at the gameplay. Can I get out of that? There's not much yet. Like I said, this is a new project, and just give that a second while it saves. I wonder where I left my player start. Let's have a quick look. So running from player start, let's see. Yeah, so here we are. We're just up in a tree. Mikus is in a T-pose until we get her animated, and if you look down, you probably don't want to look down, but yeah, there's some Titans all gathered around there. The next thing that I want to do is get their heads looking up at you, so that they're following you with their eyes, looking all creepy like. But yeah, I thought it would be really cool if we could get some grappling mechanics through these trees, so that you can fly through here. But anyway, should we jump down? Should we have a look what happens? Let's do it. Here we go. Falling. Fuck this. And then of course these ugly motherfuckers are going to chase you down, and so that would be, I don't know what would happen. There'd be game over or something when they get to you, but horrible shit. Let me see if I can. We'll get out of this forest now. I just want to show you what I'm going to work on next as like a little thing to prototype some gameplay. So there's a episode with Untgard Castle, I believe it's called, where basically there's a whole team and they're stranded in this castle, and there are Titans all around, like waiting on the floor and shit. And I think the idea is obviously what you'd want to be able to do to use your ADM gear is get over to the forest there, and so then you can grapple in the trees and be safe. But if I jump down here, the Titans are obviously faster than you can run on foot, and so if you try to run for it, you're not going to make it in time. And so what you would need to do is you need to find wherever your stable is. I don't know if they have a stable in this scene in the anime, I can't remember. But you want to find where the stable is, which I might build over here. You want to quickly get over to there, unravel your horse from the thing, and then get on your horse and then run for dear life, trying to avoid the Titan so you can get to the trees, and then obviously making sure that there's no beast Titan to come and kill your horse so that you can actually get out and escape. So plenty of ideas, lots of things to think about. I think would obviously lend itself really well to a co-op experience, co-op multiplayer with proximity chat, so that you can't necessarily communicate with your teammates unless you're right next to them, and they could be eaten by a Titan, you don't know, and you're communicating with flares on the back of horses across the map. And yeah, that's where we're at with this, so let me know what you think, and yeah, I'll see you soon with more. I might just jump down here. God, I can't wait to get the ODM gear in and full damage, make it a bit more realistic. So that's another Mikus over there in the field, but yeah, you can see this is sort of the sense of scale of the world. It's massive, and it would take you ages to run to the other side by foot, and you'd never make it because fucking Titans are everywhere, right? Look at them. Little gremlins. All the way over here. Yeah. Alright, so that's it. See ya.